My god, this was not a film. This was something else altogether. Hello guys, I'm Nona Prince and today we'll be talking about Ship of Theseus, written and directed by Anand Gandhi, story by Anand Gandhi, Pankaj Kumar and Khushbu Ranka, starring Aida El-Kashef, Neeraj Kabi and Sohum Shah, who is also the producer. Now this film is a masterpiece but not for everyone. I cannot recommend it to anyone. It's not everyone's cup of tea. Now this film will be considered by the mass as the artsy film, and even I would use that term 3 years back because this film is too detailed and philosophical for general audiences. The themes this film deals with are identity, morality, ethics, death, existentialism, and these questions and themes are for the privileged. It's not for the people who are struggling to meet ends, who are majority of our population, and it's a luxury for them to question life. Now the film opens by the question put up by the Greek philosopher and historian Plutarch, who inquires whether a ship that has been restored by placing all its parts remain the same ship. In the first story, we explore the life of a visually impaired woman who's a photographer, and with the help of her partner, she creates art. They set up art installations for people and create the experience of what it is like to be her. And it makes you value the things you have, how gifted you are. And we see how strong spirited she is, and she doesn't look at it as a limitation. She's clicking pictures just by guessing things, just by understanding from sound what's happening around her. Even the gadgets we see in the film that is helping her, the device that's telling her what settings she's using on the camera, all of that is not real. They created that for this film. No device like that exists. Now there's a wonderful scene where she has clicked a picture of the lady with the birds around a pond, and the partner is describing the picture to her. Now we as audience also don't see the picture till the end of the story. The film is recreating that experience of visualizing the picture in our mind just by the description, like she does it. That one take argument scene, it was so well acted and so organic. Now that scene will not make sense to everyone. Being an artist, I understand what they're fighting about, why she's so particular about what she wants to put out there as her work or not. I've been part of those discussions in my life. And there's this debate, is photography and art? Because some people say everything is done by the camera. Camera is clicking the picture, it's capturing the light. The photographer is just clicking. And that compared to painting and drawing, which is superior? The skills, the techniques are very different in both of these. And it's definitely subjective. And similarly, the TikTok versus YouTube debate. How can we decide who's better? The techniques are different, the platforms are different. And again, it's subjective. There's beautiful cinematography throughout the film and some beautiful shots. When Alia gets the eye transplant, just before she looks at herself in the mirror, we see the mirror coming to her, the camera attached to it, and we see both the worlds, the real one and the reflection, which is symbolic to her having just transplanted one eye, that she's seeing one side of the world and she's imagining the reflection of it for the second eye. And now that she has a vision back, she's unable to click pictures, enjoy her work. She feels like she has lost her mojo. Maybe she clicked better pictures when she didn't have the vision. That scene when she's on the street and she's unable to click pictures, she's not understanding what's happening, and we get to feel her because of great editing and camera work. To create that dizziness, editing rapid shots, the camera is so close to the characters, looking at the traffic, looking at the people. So well done. Again, to recreate the experience what she's having. Last scene of the story, she's at the most beautiful place in the world. She's sitting there and she decides not to click pictures. She puts her camera in and just try to live the moment. Just experience it. Everything doesn't need to be captured. And the last shot has a different aspect ratio. It's a wider shot where we see the whole place. We see the full picture, the full view, which a camera will not able to capture. Guys, if you find value in this video, do hit the like button, because when you do that, YouTube promotes this video and more people can watch it. Also consider subscribing and hit the bell icon to get notification whenever a new video drops. The second story was just too deep. I had to pause, rewind, hear the dialogues again and understand them. And I loved it because I just love philosophy, and this was direct philosophical debates. And there were so many symbolical shots in this. At the start, we see Maitra walking on the road next to the cars, and it creates a comparison between the cars and him. Just opposed to a shot of caterpillar with humans walking around it. And it shows that it is nothing in front of these humongous beings, which is him in front of the technologically advanced cars. Now he goes and saves the caterpillar, showing his beliefs, which is a dialogue later in the film too, that he doesn't believe that every human is equal but every existence in this world is equal. The whole quote sequence was brilliantly real. Now, this story talks about the way of life, that our beliefs are driven by fear, that we are not God loving people, but we are God fearing people. That whole one take of them walking and discussing, having a debate was brilliant. It was so real, as if real people are just walking and you're just capturing them. And over that, there was a lot of things going in that shot. There was imageries in the background which were complementing the discussion they were having. Notice the staging. Every time Maitre makes a valid and good point, that time only he walks up to the sidewalk and starts walking, as if he has taken the upper ground in the scene. And whenever he is hit with a harder question, he comes back. And it doesn't end here. There are just so many symbolical shots. There is one when he's walking for a long time and a stop sign comes, which is meant for the cars. But just at that time, he stops and he falls in. Maybe that was a sign from the universe that he needs to stop now. When at the end of their story, they have to shift to a different place. They are walking on the road which is broken, that he is on a destructive path. All his struggle at the end of that story, Neeraj Kabi, what an amazing performance, what a transformation. It feels that you lived all that struggle with him. And at the end, that bacteria analogy, it hits hard and it's too deep. And finally, he decides to give in, because at the end, life will always be superior. Now, the third story with Sohum Shah was very interesting. It raises the question, what is health? What is enough health? How do you calculate the worth of that health? That kidney twist came out of nowhere. I was so surprised. And I would have liked to see, what happened if he had that kidney. That would have been interesting to see how it would have played out. This story raises the question, whose life is more important? And the world we live in, it is the rich, because they can afford it. And the story questions morality, who's right, who's wrong. This guy who needs a kidney badly, otherwise he'll die, and he has that money to save himself, and he'll do anything to live. And then there's Shankar, a laborer who needs money to live. It's hard for him to make ends meet, and if he's getting so much money for his kidney, which anyways doesn't do much for him, he will accept it because money will make his life better. And the story tells you that it doesn't matter how far that help will go. What impact will it have in the larger scheme of things? The most important thing is doing something, helping something, because that will make a difference even to a single person, because that will at least make one person's life better. And the climax brings everything together, and we are back to that question where we started. And the last sequence of the cave is a metaphor for Plato's cave, and I love that theory of Plato's cave. Makes so much sense. That ending with the background music, oh my god, this is not a film, this is something else altogether. It's a question about life to everyone. It's just that, are you privileged enough to even understand it? So guys, thank you for watching. If you like this, hit the thumbs up button, share this video, let me know in the comments your thoughts. If you haven't subscribed yet, check out the videos. If you like them too, do subscribing, and I'll see you next time.